Welcome to Vision Plus, a program featuring a positive outlook, dealing with everyday situations of marriage, children, and business. Believing Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Teacher, author, speaker, delighting audiences from New York to Sacramento with a heart and message for the people today. Bonnie would like to remind you of the 800 number on the screen. Please feel free to call at any time throughout the broadcast and share your concerns. Leave your prayer request and someone will pray with you. And now, teacher, author, and speaker, Bonnie.
I'm Bonnie Libhart, and with me is Laura Stack, the incoming president of the National Speakers Association. You know, most of you know that I was the National Speakers Association for Alabama. And when I was a little girl, I had a hard time. In fact, ran off the stage when I was 14, running for state song leader for the 4-H club. And I said, I can't do this. And my main leader, yes, put me back on stage. And I determined that day I'm going to learn to speak in front of people. And I found out that they're wonderful people. People are wonderful. Now, what I wanted her to get across to you and to me is, number one, you can reinvent yourself, even though, in her case, she is the incoming president of the National Speakers Association, so you wouldn't think she would need to reinvent herself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your website.
Well, you are so correct, because I've been in business for 18 years, and my website is theproductivitypro.com. And even though I've been able to sustain a good business for all those years, it has really had to shift and change and morph as my market has changed. For example, many customers are now asking for online. We talked about webinars, and so I use GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, and provide hourly programs over the internet for people all over the world so that I don't have to fly in. So as budgets have decreased and travel has gone down and meetings are being canceled, I'm finding that webinars were a great supplement to the speaking business, because it is speaking. It's just a different way of communicating your expertise. So I think as speakers, we have to figure out, how do we take what we normally would talk about on the stage and communicate that through our books, through consulting, through coaching, perhaps spending an hour on the phone with someone one-on-one when maybe you didn't do that before. Mm-hmm. So this is yet another service that I've been adding to the list of offerings that I have, and that's really helped me through the downtime.
And I have 8 books, and I put them on ebooks.
Perfect.
And also Sam Horn's one of my coaches.
I love Sam. Hi, Sam.
I went to Hawaii, and for the Maui Writing School.
I went there too, 2002. Yes. Were you there? Girlfriend, that's where I met my agent.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
I got an agent too. Anyway, tell us about your books. And I want to say, you're talking about speaking, but it doesn't matter what your business is. You can reinvent it
and write about it.
And is thinking of new and innovative ways to accomplish what you normally do.
Absolutely. And you can take your topic, you can stay true to the same. You don't have to totally switch lanes in what you talk about, but reframing it, writing new books. I try to write one every 2 years. You have 8. I only have 4. That's very impressive.
Well, we won't say whether I'm past the passage remarks.
That's very
twice
impressive.
her age.
That's very impressive. But I try to write one every 2 years. My newest one just came out last month, called Super Competent.
Love it, love it.
Thank you.
Tell us about the first one too.
Well, in 2002, I went to the Maui Writers Conference. I met an agent there who sold my first book, which was Leave the Office Earlier. And thank you. That's so, to this day, my best-selling book, Leave the Office Earlier. And that one was published in 2004. Then in 2006, I wrote Find More Time and Get Things Done at Home, and it was productivity at home. And then in 2008, I wrote The Exhaustion Cure, which was how to be productive when you're tired. So how do you get the energy to perform at your best? And then in 2010, Super Competent. And in 2012, Maximum Results, Minimum Time will be out. So I think that's part of the key, is that you always have to have something in the works. Never stop and say, well, I've arrived, or now I'm there. You know, you can't ever be content. You have to constantly be reinventing yourself. We call it Zoomers. Instead of Zoomers, you're a Zoomer.
That's right.
See, you're still going. You're not.
As soon as I get 85, like Grandma Moses, I can start a new career.
That's right. You're a Zoomer. I'm proud of it.
Zoom into that.
That's right.
I love that.
So you're constantly reinventing
Did you
yourself.
You have a husband, handsome
Yes.
husband. I saw him on screen.
Thank you.
And your children, your daughter, who is your
The little productivity protege.
Yes. I loved it when she walked down the aisle or the.
Oh, and so
she was saying, we gotta go kiss some babies.
Kiss some babies and smile,
She'll be
shake hands and kiss
president one of
babies.
these days.
I know, I'm keeping my eye on her. Yes, that one.
I think she will. She's the incoming president of the United States in
2036.
Yeah. But she'll be there. She'll certainly will.
Thank you.
And
Yep, married,
that's Judy.
3 children.
Nice.
My boys are 9 and 10. My daughter's 14. And you know,
So remember,
Megan Stack. Yes, she'll be famous someday.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, you have to figure out, how am I going to do this business and
Or any
still
business.
have a family. You know, people are trying to work and volunteer and be with the people that they love. You know, so you really have to constantly be looking for new ways to communicate your expertise and what you do and your product or your service, and sometimes in a way that doesn't require you to be gone. You know, that you can do that
with your family.
with your
That
family.
was one of the things I admire so much about you, is you do have your family first,
Yes.
and then your career, and then your volunteer, well, and the family, including that good-looking husband.
Yes, of course, yes.
And he, in fact, reinvented himself during your career. Tell us a
That's
little bit
right.
about
Well, he was, when we first met, a mail carrier, my husband, and he had a business degree. And I thought, why don't you quit your job and come work for my company? And he did in 2000. He's been with me now 10 years. And he is a really important part of our organization.
And that is not meaning that because you work as a team together in your business, that makes him any lower than you.
Oh, no.
Just because it's our money, not my money.
It's all one pot. We put it all in one pot. He works just as hard. He stays home when I'm on the road with the children, and I think his job in some cases is harder than
The
mine.
exciting thing is you take 4 weeks every year that you do not book yourself.
Every year we
So-
take 4 weeks of vacation.
Yeah, because that's the spring break and the fall break and the Christmas
Absolutely,
break.
and
I
it's
don't
so
know what
important
it is.
that you have that commitment to your family, and you have those boundaries, that you decide what's important to you, and you figure out how to work the rest of your life around that, rather than the other way around, rather than allowing life to kind of take advantage of you and then feeling like you never have any free time, you never have time with your family. I think it's important that you sit down at the beginning of the year and block all that out. Then you work everything else around that. You're
Well,
never going to
thank
have
you.
time. You will never have time for vacation if you don't.
It's got to be locked in there.
Absolutely.
Time to do that. How many people does it take for you to complete all of this? You have your husband working for you.
I have my husband, I have my assistant, my office manager, Becca, who works in the office, in my home,
And
in
you
my
have
home.
virtual people.
And I have, not a virtual assistant, she works in my home, but I have a lot of contractors.
Yes.
So I have an IT person, I have a graphics person, and a web person, and printing.
So they're
So it
kind of
takes a
virtual.
lot of employees who are more contracted
Yeah.
to make this all happen.
So you don't have to do all those FICA and everything.
No,
All of those
bookkeeper, accountant, you know, so it takes a lot of people to run the organization.
You've had some incredibly wonderful things happen. Did you ever have a failure in all of your life?
Oh, sure.
Well, let's hear
of
about
course.
something.
You know, just trying, I think for me it's been doing topics that didn't fit me.
Oh,
Accepting speaking engagements that I should not have been accepting. where I really didn't have any business being there. So I think you have to be careful about letting the money tempt you into doing things where in your heart you know that's not a good fit. And sure enough, I've bombed.
Oh,
I have bombed on the platform so bad.
We were doing showcases in Atlanta, and this cigarette company, tobacco company, wanted me to do some keynote for them. I thought, I just quit smoking. I can't do this.
Yes.
I'm not for this.
Yes.
So I had to say, no.
Well, and good for you for doing
Does
that.
this saber belong to you? I want that money.
Because if you did, then the whole time you would have been there not feeling good about yourself. And I think you have to be congruent, whether it's your values or your topic or the audience. For example, I don't speak to manufacturing companies because I don't deal in manufacturing. So just knowing what I can do and what I can't, what I will do and what I won't, and abiding by your personal boundaries, I think you keep yourself out of trouble that way.
But one thing that you said that the Bible says, you said, be bold. Like you made those 30 calls a day.
You gotta get in there. You gotta sell
gotta
yourself.
Sound like you're.
You gotta be confident. Absolutely, because if you're not, people aren't going to have that level of trust in you, and they need to know that they're going to put you on a platform and you're not going to embarrass them.
What's coming up tomorrow? It'll be not the tomorrow while they're watching this program, but you said something was going to be tomorrow.
Oh, the Broncos game.
Yes, yes. That's
yes,
right. It'll be over and we'll know what
the Big Four
won.
Seasons, Denver is opening next month, and I am privileged to be able to go
Month of October
on
of 2010.
2010.
Because sometimes
opening
this goes,
tour.
you know, when you're you
Sure.
do the
It's out
video
all over the
streaming
place.
and
Yes.
archiving, and this might be 2011 when they're actually
But it's
archiving.
all of that. It's all that local networking that I've done over the years, where you meet people who know someone who knows someone, and all of a sudden you get invited to fun events where you go smile and kiss babies.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So how did you meet your husband? Doesn't sound like a typical.
Just through friends.
Friends.
Just through friends in Denver at a party, at a volleyball party of all places, and there he was, and there I was. So.
What would you say to people if they feel they've been downsized or their business is not going as well as they'd like, and they need to reinvent themselves? You have any?
Well, I mean, I think we need to reconnect with what our passion is.
Okay.
I think go back to your roots. Go back to why you got into this business in the first place. Whatever business you're in. What was exciting to you then? And re-engage that again. I think so many times we get stuck in ruts just doing the same old thing. We're just kind of going through the motions. So sometimes you just have to shake it up a bit. Try to get on TV. Do something for your newspaper. Go give a free speech at a charity. Go to a service club. You know, come up with a way to engage a little bit more into your community.
And if it's manufacturing, like my husband's engineering and manufacturing firm, then you may have to go and just do those 30 calls a day if you've been downsized.
Sometimes you got to sit in the
Or
chair.
Sometimes you can outsource yourself. So if you want to know more, don't forget to go to Laura Stack's website.
TheProductivityPro.com.
And you may want to order some of her material. I didn't say that. But anyway, I want to thank you very much. She's got a boogie back to Denver, Colorado. Love Denver. Have lots of cousins and people there.
Really?
So be nice to everybody. They're probably my cousins.
Okay.
And some of them are might not be so nice to you occasionally, but I've had those
I'm
people.
sure they're lovely.
And we'll be back in just a moment. I'm just going to call her Dallas. Welcome back for this segment. And I'll let you tell her why. Her tell you why. I got that bumfuzzled, didn't I? Okay, Dallas, welcome. Dallas is part of the National Speakers Association of Alabama. She's on the board, and they're getting real quickly ready for a meeting. But before she sneaks out of here, I wanted you to meet her. Tell her about the books she's written and the latest one that's coming out. Dallas, just tell us all about you.
Oh gosh, Bonnie, first of all, I just want to thank you for just the amazing inspiration that you've been. You are just an icon, and I'm just so excited to be here with you today.
Another one that's like my age, but you don't tell it.
No. Well, let's see, what do? I am known as America's Business Etiquette Coach. But Bonnie, what I do that's different is I really try to bring the best out of people. I don't say, you know, you're not you're not good enough because you don't have these skills. What I say is, you probably haven't learned these skills, but let me teach them to you so you can be your best self. So it's a very different motivation. Yeah, and not that the other people out there are necessarily doing it different, but I just come with truth and love, and I think that's what we all need in today's world.
Well, tell me about some business etiquette. Give me some companies that you may have worked for and could help, and maybe, I know we have Gladys and some other people that are in business watching, so tell us about some companies you've worked for, some types of companies.
Absolutely. Well, in your area, I've worked with AdTran before. We've done a technology etiquette training because there are so many faux pas with email out now, and all the webinars and things of that nature. People don't realize we've got to learn how to bridge technology and relationships. So oftentimes we try to hide behind that, and so many mistakes are made with technology. Norwegian Cruise Lines is a client of mine. I've also worked in Birmingham with M.J. Harris, Robinson and Morton, of course, Children's Hospital.
Is that a different area?
No, they build hospitals, or developers of hospitals. So really, business etiquette is really something that applies to every single aspect of our life. Even the etiquette principles apply to just building relationships with individuals, even at church or in your community. So these are skills. Once you learn them, gosh, it's invaluable. It's priceless, really.
Well, do you have like an acronym of the skills you're going to teach, or something that helps them to remember it, and what would that be?
Well, this is kind of funny, because if I said to you, I talk about the new KISS method.
Okay, keep it short.
Keep it short, maybe keep it simple,
Sweetheart.
Stupid, or something. I call it keep it simply savvy.
Simply savvy.
Simply savvy. And really, it's a tool and a method people can use. So you can say, number one, does my behavior insult, interrupt, ignore, or offend another person?
Insult, ignore,
interrupt, or offend another person. The next step is, if I saw someone else doing it, would I think it's tacky or inappropriate? Sometimes we see what someone else does, but we don't realize that we're committing the same behavior. And lastly, have I really thought about the implications of my actions? In other words, if I do this, then what's going to happen? How's that going to affect me? Because sometimes we have to put it into our perspective of how that's going to affect us to really realize what we need to do. So if we can ask ourselves those three questions, it will save us 99% of the time for the pain of the wrong mistakes we'll make.
Okay, why don't we go over those three questions again?
Okay, so the first is, does my behavior offend, insult, interrupt, or ignore another person? The next one is, if I saw someone else committing this behavior, would I think it's inappropriate or tacky? And the third is, have I really thought about the implications or the responses or how that will affect me? Thought about that behavior and what the result would be.
Have you done any traveling overseas anywhere, Egypt or England or somewhere? Because I was thinking about how different cultures are, and you probably in your business see some of that. But I was thinking about this in Egypt when we were in Cairo. Well, there's no yellow lines or white lines. You just, whoever's the boldest and the gutsiest goes next. And they're riding the bus with their arms hanging on the outside of the bus. But since they don't have that, a friend of ours was driving over here, and he's not used to lines or what they meant, or yield signs or stop signs. It was just driving like they do in Egypt. We said, well, how'd you like it over here? He said, they're so friendly. Everybody waves at me with one finger.
Oh, wow.
So, if we're committing some how you say
faux pas.
Exactly. Accentuated, syllable. But anyway, we have to learn what kind of that culture, what might be, is that true? That sometimes, Dallas, what might be a good culture in manufacturing might not be in banking. And you had to adjust it to different categories.
Well, I think every business you have to go in and you have to know that culture, like you said. For example, in banking, if you're calling on a banking client, it's most appropriate that you dress how those customers would dress. For example, it's a little more formal, it's more corporate. In fact, there's a lady that that I know that lost a very big account because she was going and calling on a bank, and this was for a year's worth of training, and she went in a very nice suit. But the challenge was when she was sitting across the table from these folks, they didn't think she understood their business because she was dressed in a dress, not in a business suit. See, we don't think about those little cues. We don't think about trying to mirror our clients. Now, if I was calling on someone that had let's say they worked in agriculture, I may not go there dressed in a very formal black business suit. I may go there more business casual because I want to relate to my client. So it's really important because people need to know that you understand their business. They need to find trust and commonality with you. And so you asked about overseas. I have a cute story where when I was in Czechoslovakia right after the fall of the wall, and I remember it was called Education for Democracy, and we were dropped off in the country, and then after we had flown for 2 days, they were taking us all around the country for 4 months. And in the process, I did not have a chance to go to the ladies' room at the airport. And so I thought, well, surely we'll get in the car and I'll be able to, you know, take care of that when we get to our destination. I did not want to be rude to our host. You know, they were ready to leave. Well, unbeknownst to me, it was a 2-hour drive. Now remember, I've been flying now for 2 days. And so I say to my gracious host, excuse me, I would like to go to the bathroom whenever possible. So they look at each other in the front seat and they kind of nod and they continue on. So I look at my friend that's next to me, the other young lady that would be partnered with me in this city, and I said, I really have got to go to the bathroom. And so about 30 minutes later, and I'm thinking, this is not how I want to die. You know, this is not, I've got too much to offer the world. This is not how I want to go, you know. And so anyway, they say, oh, would you like a Coca-Cola? Now keep in mind that in 1990, Coca-Cola was very, very expensive. Czechoslovakia was still under communist rule. I mean, they were having their first elections in 40 years. So it was very expensive. So they were trying to give us great honor in offering a Coca-Cola to us. They knew that was something that was what we liked. So we pulled to this place, and I think, fantastic, finally I can go to the bathroom, you know. So I said, please, would you ask these people if I can use their bathroom? I will pay them American money if I can use their bathroom. And they said, oh, no, you don't want to do that. You know, like, this is a place, like, it's not worthy of you. And I'm thinking, I couldn't quite understand. Yeah. So what I did was, I'm standing outside, and I have my legs crossed, and I'm doing like this, and I said, if I don't find a toilet soon, I'm just going to go over here. And finally, I said the word toilet, and they go, oh, toilet, toilet, toilet! And they were like, and they take me right there, and what we discovered later is that they were learning, British English. When we say bathroom, we might be, we mean restroom. We mean toilet, yes. Well, there, they talk about the WC, the water closet.
Yes, yes, yes.
They had heard Americans needed to be clean, and they thought that I wanted to bathe in these people's bathtub. So they figured that I could wait until I got there, to take a bath. So, and the reason, so we have to be very, very careful that we know these little nuances when we're traveling. I mean, I certainly didn't want to die by, an exploding bladder, in Czechoslovakia. But we really, that taught me a very valuable lesson at a very young age. So you're exactly right. Whenever we travel, we really need to find out the cultural nuances. For example, when you do the OK sign in the United States, it's okay, but in many cultures, it's very offensive.
Oh, really?
Very offensive.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember a person asking me, what are you doing that for? And I said, well, I think it's all right. I'm very okay with it.
Right, right.
I didn't get it.
Or
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I was the one.
Yeah, yeah. Or in some cultures, to burp after the meal is expected, or to slurp, to slurp your noodles, and that sort of thing. And we would find that
Oriental people. My daughter, we were in a restaurant, and she would burp real bad, and I said, Emily, and she said, that's a compliment to the Oriental.
Well, yeah.
Her best friend was Osan from the Seoul, Korea, somewhere.
Yeah.
She knew them.
Yeah. So the main thing, if we're traveling, is just so important for us to do that research. It's available to us now. There's really no excuse to
Not Google it, or Bing it.
Absolutely. Googling is a verb now.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's no excuse not to do that. So it's really imperative that you check that out. It's not only in our own culture, but especially when we go overseas.
So if we're going to do business etiquette, it's also important to learn that particular one. I remember that we have had a manufacturing company. Now we license somebody else to do it, but Nito Cabine, that a lot of people know from National Speakers Association,
Sure,
owns
yeah.
a lot of, well, president of banks and of High Point, North Carolina, college, university, whatever.
Furniture country.
Yeah, there we go. And some bread company too.
Yeah.
Anyway, he came and spoke to our people out in the manufacturing plant. They all have on really shorts and really casual things. I mean, like really,
Really casual.
Really casual.
Yeah.
T-shirts would be lucky. And he was in a three-piece suit, which is normal for him, and a white shirt with the most beautiful cufflinks you ever saw. It would have been wonderful if he could have just at least take the tie off.
Maybe he could have, taken the tie off, loosened his shirt a little bit.
Whatever, yeah.
Been a little more,
actually, after they were with him a while, it was okay, because it was Nito and it was him.
Yeah.
But we do need to kind of dress the culture and learn the culture of that business.
Well, because we only have 3 to 5 seconds to make a first impression.
Right.
So let's say Nito, if they didn't know Nito,
Mm-hmm.
it takes him longer to connect with the audience. The sooner you connect with your audience, whether it be if you're a speaker or you're connecting with a client or anything like that, as soon as you connect with them, the sooner you can start to bridge that relationship.
And Sunday school teacher.
That's right.
Preacher.
Whatever
it is.
I'll have a quick cute example. The lady who cuts my hair, there was a challenge with her daughter, didn't get wasn't upgraded, if you will, in a dance company. And, she asked me what she would do. And I said, well, let me ask you the question. I think we always have the question inside of us, right?
Yeah,
the answer inside of us, I mean. And I said, what do you really hope to accomplish by going and talking to the director? She said, well, I just want to tell him that I don't know why he didn't, promote her and that she should be there. And I said, let me ask you a few questions. I said, talk to Jessica. I said, what does Jessica say? Does she really want to do dancing? The daughter, yeah. And she said, I think so. And I said, well, perhaps there's a lack of, maybe he doesn't see the passion. Maybe there's something you don't know. And I said, and a better thing to do would be to talk to Jessica. And if she really wants to promote herself, go to that professor and ask him what she can do to improve.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only, absolutely, because she can find out maybe some areas where she's missing and she can improve, but it also is going to show that she respects him and wants to do better.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, you have to find out what is the results you want to get and what is the behavior that I need to do, to get that behavior. Yeah. So not just go from that initial standpoint of, oh, I'm angry. No, how can you create a win-win situation?
Mm-hmm. So Dallas, the business etiquette coach, Dallas, how did you come up with just choosing Dallas as your name?
Well, gosh, I got married.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Dallas is actually my name, so Lady Gaga, I don't think that's her name.
No.
So I didn't have to make a name up. People go, is that really your name? I'm like, yeah, it really is my name. But Dallas is just such an unusual name, and I think from a marketing standpoint, it's very easy to remember. And so instead of saying, my name is Dallas Teague Snyder, I am blah, 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 it's just Dallas, it's more, to me, it's friendly, but it's also as big as Texas. So
I love that. Because our daughter calls herself Dallas D, because she says Dallas is her home. And, she only lived there like decade or so,
but she loved it enough to say it's her home.
I'm from Texas, that's it.
Right.
So you're Dallas, so you don't have to remember a lot. Oh, your website, so we can have it running across the bottom.
Absolutely. My website is called makeyourbestimpression.com. That's www.makeyourbestimpression.com, your best impression. And if you go to that website, you can take the free etiquette quiz. I don't grade it. It's simply to give you a measure and a bar to know where you can start from. And I'd love to work with you, so give me a call.
Yes. And Dallas will help, and she knows other etiquette in addition to business etiquette.
I do.
And we won't wave at you with our one finger friendly, but we do want you to respond to Dallas and to her website and along with Tony Libhart. We're down in Birmingham on location with Dallas Teague Snyder, but known to you and us as Dallas. On the board of the National Speakers Association of Alabama, I'm Bonnie Libhart. Bless your heart.